Monopoly is kind of a fun game if you have several hours and want to lose a bunch of friends, because after you play, you'll get so frustrated and angry with them, you'll never want to play with them again. Well, there's two new versions of Monopoly, and today we're going to be focusing on one, but I have to highlight the other. Here's the story, Miss Monopoly. Why, it's the first game that pays women more than men. It's a feminist version of Monopoly, apparently, but kind of not, because why would you give female players more money? Doesn't seem to make sense. Now, look, apparently the game highlights achievements women have made, which is, okay, fine. But it also gives women more starting cash, my understanding. We'll read this. We'll read through the benefits they're giving to women. However, recently we saw socialism monopoly, which is very, I don't know, derisive, insulting towards socialists. So naturally, if Hasbro is going to make a game that's political and makes fun of socialists, don't be surprised if they make a woke monopoly to also capitalize on the culture war. Congratulations. Truly, capitalism is the real winner here. Sorry, socialists. Okay, let's read about the feminist version of Monopoly and why would anyone want to play it. Before we do, head over to youtube.com/TimCastIRL. I have a new channel. Make sure you subscribe if you want to see on-the-ground reporting and just behind-the-scenes stuff. There's a new video about my van, and if you want to see the van tour and see what we'll be doing, go check it out, youtube.com/TimCastIRL. Let's read the story. From Pluralist, Hasbro officially brought the gender pay gap to game night with its new feminist version of Monopoly called Miss Monopoly, not Mrs. The new version of the classic board game comes with new rules. Women players will collect $240 in Monopoly money, while male players will only collect $200. Women also collect $1,900 in Monopoly money from the banker player at the beginning of the game, while men collect $1,500. Ah, yes. So this person, Lisa Britton, says, Hasbro is perpetuating victimhood through a board game. They're instilling in young girls that society views them as less than. The pay gap comes from personal choices made by women. I don't know or care, but I will say this. Regular Monopoly is truly egalitarian. Your race and gender are irrelevant. The banker pays and the banker takes, no matter what. It's just the game is equal. There's no card in regular Monopoly where it's like, if you're a woman, lose money. So why make a game that is purposefully gender imbalanced? That's not feminist, unless you want to give ammo to the anti-feminists who believe that feminism is really about female privilege and taking power and not fighting for equality. Now, feminists will tell you feminism is all about equality, but at least not when it goes capitalist. You know, when a board game wants to capitalize on feminism, they overtly make the game about giving women more power than men. That's why I'm like, it's kind of not feminist, but at least by the supposed definition. Let's read a little bit more. But if men play their cards right, they can make more money too, the game-making company announced in a Monday press release. Miss Monopoly will be the first ever game in the Monopoly franchise that celebrates women trailblazers. Yes, by propping up female players because they clearly need help. That's the joke. According to Hasbro's press release, and will feature a new female character on the box cover instead of the game's original mustachioed mascot, Rich Uncle Pennybags. Hasbro also announced a $20,580 real money donation to 3 girls ages 13 to 16 to fuel their inventive spirit and further their projects, which just so happens to be the same amount of Monopoly money featured in the game. All of the young inventors come from very different backgrounds, but with a common goal: to help others using their inventions. Here we can see Carol Ross says, yeah, nothing says empowering women like giving them special treatment instead of equal treatment based on biology. We live in the dumbest time, the greatest time, but also the dumbest time. Quote, you can't win at something unless you get an unfair advantage. And by the way, everyone is going to resent you for it. Seems like an amazing lesson for young girls. I have a question. I'm going to buy this because I think it's great. I had a story for you second, but first thing I want to say is I'm going to buy this because can I just identify as a woman and then get the $240? Is there an explicit rule saying if you're trans, you're not allowed? Or do you have to literally be trans in order to play the game and get the money you want? I don't know. Anyway, I'm just being a bit silly, but I will say I'll buy the game and play it to see what it's all about, to see what the mechanics are like. But I want to make a point. Recently, I was playing Mario Kart, and here's why I think it's a good thing. I was playing Mario Kart. Actually, no, I wasn't playing Mario Kart. We were gonna play Mario Kart, and I said, no, I hate Mario Kart. Mario Kart 64, I'm really good at it. That game I like. The later versions, I'm like, it's just so bad how, if you turn items off, fine, the game's enjoyable. But like the basic iteration of it where the further back you go, the better items you get, that's a terrible idea, and I called it communist propaganda. Saying, it's basically teaching people that you don't have to try hard to get ahead, and that's the way it should be. Now this idea comes from this viral post where someone was explaining socialism, and they said, it's like Mario Kart. The further back you are given better advantages, and the people in the front who have privilege don't. And they're like, wow, that's a great way to explain it. So I called it communist propaganda, but then somebody made a really interesting point. No, it's anti-communist propaganda. And I said, well, how is it anti-communist? Like, you're in last place, you get a blue shell, and you blow up the guy in first, and then you can just speed ahead, or you get a star or a bullet bill or something. It's like the worse you do, the more you're rewarded for it. And that's when I was told, right, it is anti-communist propaganda. You know why? Think about the little kids who are playing that game, who get really good at it, and then get punished for being good. What they learn is, in this system, you have to pretend to be worse than you are and hide your abilities and then take advantage later on. If anything, it's teaching kids to be more opportunistic and to resent communism. And I went, that's a really good point. So think about what this game will do. As Carol Roth says, you will be everyone's going to resent you for it. If you get a game that gives women more money for nothing, people are going to really, really hate feminism. Think about it. This is Miss Monopoly. I don't know if they're calling it feminist or whatever, but it's going to make men really, really resent women. It's not going, listen, I know you might say yes, but the young men will say, wow, am I getting paid more than women? Now I understand why women are frustrated. No, that's not how people work. They're not going to add things. They're going to be like, this is dumb. Why do women get free stuff? Then all of a sudden you're going to have a door opened by MRAs who point out things like ladies' night at bars where women get discounts or cheaper entry. Men are supposed to buy women drink, pay for dinner. All of these old archaic systems where it's supposed to be equal, but women still get the privilege. So what do? They make a game now that not only do we still exist in a society that is not entirely, beyond gender norms, so you still have the expectation the man is supposed to provide, but now we're going to make a game that punishes you for being a man. Do you think that's feminist propaganda? No, it's not. Now, there may be feminists who laugh at it and say, ha ha ha, now I'm getting more money. Regular people are going to be like, this is dumb. This is not fair. And they're not going to think about privilege or anything like that. They're just going to get angry about it. Let's read a little bit more, see what else they have. Hasbro Global Brand Strategy and Marketing Senior Director Jen Boswinkle said that through the new game and the company's donation to 3 young women, Hasbro's goal is to recognize and celebrate the many contributions women have made to our society and continue to make on a daily basis. We made sure that this felt authentic and was a fun game families could play and learn about these things that they love and are a part of their life that they didn't know were invented by women. If they made a game called Miss Monopoly and the buildings and properties or whatever were like famous things associated with females, and it was the same game, that's great. But they've changed the rules and created identity-based resentment or advantages. Washington Post reporter Dave Jorgensen noted on Twitter that the original patent for the first version of the game, called the Landlord's Game, was actually created by a woman named Lizzie Maggie in 1903. He says, she created the game, some dude showed up 30 years later, pretended he invented it, threw out one of the rule books, got the patent, and sold it to Parker Brothers. Yeah, good for him. But however well-intentioned the purpose of the game is, its pay gap rule received some criticism on Twitter. Michelle Malkin says, Miss Monopoly, extra cash when you pass go, and instead of get out of jail card, women get to play put him in jail cards with false Me Too allegations against men, then collect multi-million-dollar civil suits and book deals. Okay, I think she's joking. Is that real though? No, okay, I think that's a joke. I don't think that's actually in the game. So anyway, we saw socialism. I don't care. It's a game. When the Monopoly socialism thing came out, all of these socialists got really angry and go, harumph, I say, how dare you insult socialism? This game isn't real socialism. We're going to play it. It's going to be fun. And I'm sure Miss Monopoly will be as well, because they're gimmicks. The mechanics are probably not as good as like regular Monopoly. I'm pretty sure regular Monopoly is a solved game though, so whatever. Anyway, there you go. New feminist gaming brought to you by Hasbro. But I guess they also have, the socialist game apparently is like very insulting to actual socialists. So whatever, man. At least they're playing both sides, insulting the feminists and making fun of socialism at the same time. What more can you ask for? Everybody deserves a pie in the face every now and then. And if a comedian's going to come out, make fun of everybody, I'm all for it. If they're going to make games that make fun of everybody, sure, fine, whatever. I got a couple more segments coming up for you in a few minutes. Stick around. I will see you all shortly.